And there are a couple of more things that I want to go through before we move on to the end of this video. Things that are just kind of going to help you move around Reaper and just kind of get to grips with it a bit more. First of which is importing audio. Now, this is really, really easy to do in Reaper. All you need to do is drag and drop it in, and Reaper will create all of your waveforms for you and move all of the files to your file folder automatically for you without you having to do anything. So I'm just going to come over to Finder, where I've already navigated to where my audio files are saved. And I'm going to take this one, which is a mono recording from a lapel microphone, a lavalier mic. And I'm just going to drag it in and drop it, and Reaper is going to do its thing. And I'm going to do the same with this one, which is an ambisonic recording taken with the Sennheiser Ambio. So just let those import, let the waveforms generate. And you can see from the way Reaper has generated the waveforms that this one is a mono file because we have a single channel, and this one is a multi-channel first order ambisonic recording. You can also see that I've got a couple of sync points here. So there's a clap there and a clap there. And very usefully, Reaper displays the information from child tracks in an overlay in the parent track, so that can make it very easy to do stuff like aligning tracks and syncing things up, but we'll go into that in just a second. Next thing I want to show you is how to set locators and loop within Reaper. Again, very simple, but something that people can get a little bit lost with. Firstly, we're going to zoom out so we can actually see what we're doing. So I'm going to hold Control and scroll down. Sorry, not hold Control, hold Alt and scroll down, and that's going to zoom out horizontally. And then to set locators, all I need to do is I can be anywhere within the timeline so long as I have this icon with the arrow and the square on it, and all I need to do is drag and my locators can be located. If I want to adjust this, I can come up to the edge here. It's not going to work if you're above a actual audio file or MIDI object or anything like that. But if you come to an empty space and you see these two arrows, you can drag that out, and you can do the same here. Really simple. Then if we want to loop that area, all we need to do is come to the transport and click this button here, and it's looping. In Reaper, it's called repeat, and that's important for the next thing that I'm going to show you, which is Reaper's action list. Now, one of the great features about Reaper is the action list. This is a list of things that Reaper does, basically. It's every feature of Reaper organized into a list. So we can find everything within here, okay? And just using the looping feature as an example, if I wanted to loop this section, which is actually the whole thing, typing loop doesn't really come up with anything that's useful in this context. What we need to do is type repeat. And we've got toggle repeat here. So if I click this and I click run, you can see down here in the transport that's toggling that on and off. Now, this is a really powerful feature because you can assign any of these actions to any key command on your keyboard or a MIDI controller, anything like that, and it'll execute it straight away. Not only that, but we have custom actions down here where we can stack all of these things and create really complex macro commands, assign it to one key and have it execute. So it can really speed up editing workflows and all that sort of thing when you get a bit more in depth. It does take some setting up, and there's a whole community online of people who have done it for you already, but it's quite fun to kind of experiment with yourself and is a really, really powerful feature within Reaper. So the last thing I want to show you is just how to kind of edit with Reaper. It's really similar to editing with Pro Tools. You've got a very similar thing to Pro Tools Smart Commands where the tool changes depending on where you are on the actual object itself. And I'm just going to do this to sync up these two audio files so that we can get them working together later in our project. So if I zoom in here, now I know from this project that my actual session starts when I give 2 claps. Okay, so I can see here that we have 1 by this spike, and I can see that this is that very likely that same spike. So let's just listen to that quickly. Yep, so that's a single clap. Yep, that's a single clap. So it looks like here we've got 2 claps in the mono. So let's just double check that. Yep. And let's do the same here. Okay, so these two claps here are my sync point. So I want to just shorten these two and drag this so that it's in sync. Very easy to do. If I just zoom out slightly again. So again, exactly the same as in Pro Tools and just about every other DAW. All we need to do is come over to the end here, drag that in till we're close to the beginning of where we want it to cut to, and do the same with this one. And then I'm just going to drag these back a bit, just so we are a bit happier. In fact, I'm going to drag them all the way back to the start. And I'm going to get my locator in here and zoom into my locator and just line that up with my clap on my ambisonic recording. And I'm just going to drag this so that it is exactly in line. So now these two files should be in sync. I should be able to zoom out, extend this, and hit play. And we're in sync. Cool. So that's how to bring audio in, do a little bit of basic editing. I'll look quickly, just show you we've got fades here as well. Really, really simple and easy to do. So we're bringing audio in, we're looping it, we're editing it slightly, and then we're kind of going on from there. If you do have any questions, do ask. If you can't find any of the tools while you're trying to work along, go back to the previous video and just make sure that you've got everything. But yes, until next time, get on with it.